Culture and Leisure Services Board meeting to order. We'll begin with the roll call.
Okay, and before I take roll call, I just want to explain that on the meeting minutes, I accidentally did not put Kathy Parks on there, but she was definitely here. So, Joel Fair.
Here.
Tim Bass.
Here.
Barbara McPeak.
Here.
Maureen Michelle. She won't be here, neither will Larry. And Kathy Parks.
Here.
And Maureen Woodside.
Here.
All right. Yes.
Can I ask a quick question, Patty? I may have the wrong agenda, but it says action items, and it has like motions made by people. What? I'm wrong there somewhere.
What?
Or is this the old
That's
minutes?
the old one.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Sorry about that.
Sorry. So we have two action items for tonight. And the first one is sorry.
There's three.
3. So I need to motion to approve last meeting's minutes. All right.
Yes.
Can I do that, or does someone else need to do that?
I'll move to approve.
Perfect. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor of approving the meetings from last minute?
Aye.
All right. Okay. Minutes are approved. So today, hopefully everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda that Patty sent out that has both mural designs for the ball field at Canaveral City Park. And also in the back of that is how the vote went for the Facebook poll that was taken. Was it taken anywhere else or just on Facebook? It was mainly Facebook.
It was done via SurveyMonkey, so they could actually access it via any of our social media
Okay,
platforms.
excellent.
But of course, Facebook's the most popular.
Right. And it looked like it had a decent turnout, of over 200 people voting, so that's incredible, and actually fairly one-sided. So with that, awesome, thank you. Our position tonight is to vote for one of those two, and then it will go from us to the city council to ratify it. Is that correct?
Close, it has to, any mural, whether it's on a public building or a private residence or business in Cape Canaveral, has to be approved by the Community Appearance Board.
Got it. Okay, and then, so does city council still see it after them?
No.
Okay, got it, so.
Is it submission 2 that got the most votes?
It was submission 1.
Oh, boy.
Option 1, which I confirmed was the same thing as submission 1,
I'm thinking it was 2. Okay.
so,
Rattle brain. Submission 1.
One.
correct.
These are ones.
It got over 80% of the vote.
One's got 80%. Okay.
May I ask a quick question? Did all you guys vote?
I did.
I did.
Just wondering.
Did
'cause-
you?
Yes.
Okay.
I was one of 45 people.
Through my wife, by the way, because I'm a city employee.
I didn't.
You know,
I
I showed it to them and they voted.
I voted, it will be directly outside my house, so definitely,
All right.
my wife and I voted.
So what, you're saying one?
One was a majority vote on the poll that was taken, 186 votes for option 1, about 80%, and then 45 votes for option 2, which is about 20%, so. Has everybody had a chance to look at it again? Okay, I'd recommend that, or a motion that we vote on the murals. Would anyone like to begin the voting?
We're just gonna do like a vote for option 1. I'll say aye, or we need to go
Probably
singular.
One person would make a motion to select one or the other, and then
Okay.
a second,
Out of
and then
the
a
three.
vote would carry on from there.
So based on the survey, I'll make a motion to vote against my personal interest, but with the interest of the community in mind, and go for option one.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You've done that twice, by the way, with the MGF, remember?
So now, because we want to be able to record that everybody, would I say all opposed, or do we make another motion to vote for the other one? I guess would be my question.
You could do either.
Okay. I'll just
I'll make a
do,
motion to do two. I'll make a motion to see if there's any ayes in favor of option two.
Second.
anyone vote for option 2?
Is it the second one?
Yes.
These are option
So
two.
there are 3 that are option 1 and 3 that are option 2. They all
Right.
fit the space between 3 themes.
On the,
But I don't understand what you're doing now.
Going through 3 of
If-
the
if
option
you're-
ones.
No.
no, they're both a package deal.
If you said aye before, which I think everybody did, okay, then now we're saying, we're opening the floor for option 2. So if you want to vote for option 2, he'll call and you can say aye if you want to vote for it, and then he'll call for
That-
nays, and we'll say nay if we want to vote against
Is that
option 2.
instead of one or?
Correct.
Yes.
You can only vote for one of the two. So we've already taken all the votes for option 1. If anyone would like to vote for option 2, vote now.
I would.
Okay. Anyone else?
Patty, would you call the roll, please?
Call the roll, and they'll say yea or nay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Marlene Woodside,
Yay.
Barbara McPeak,
Nay.
Joel Fair,
This is sorry, a little bit of confusion.
For option 2.
So,
Oh.
for,
Option 2.
okay.
Oh,
I'm voting.
Oh,
Let me explain what just happened. There's a motion on the table, so, but here's what happened. The intent, I think as Molly wrote the agenda item, was for you guys to vote on one. You guys happened to make a motion and vote for the one that Facebook liked. What you're doing now is you're voting on others, and what that does, then, let me just give you like way out there scenario. You could vote yes for all 3, and then the full decision will fall on the hands of the appearance board, because it'll look like you guys couldn't necessarily support one.
okay.
So it's really up to you guys whether you want to continue in that way, or do you all feel like you actually like one certain mural design to move forward with? Does that make sense?
The way the law was explained to me by Anthony and David is that this board needs to make a decision.
Right.
Because
Well,
it's not the Community Appearances Board's role to decide between 2 things. Their role is to approve a final design.
Just to make
Can-
sure
can
that
there
whatever
be-
we decide
Whatever you
is,
decide is going to be the recommendation.
Can there be any discussion right now before we go full?
absolutely.
yes.
Okay, I would like to suggest that we keep option 2 in case option 1 has a problem and can't make it.
Absolutely. Or there's other opportunities. There's plenty of wall space in Cape Canaveral that,
Yes, because 2 is awfully good.
Both of them, yeah.
They both are.
They're both really good.
So if we could keep option 2 as another option down the road. Could we just put that in, is that legal to put that in the minutes or not?
I would second that if we need to. Otherwise, if it's implied that's what we're going to do, no matter what, then we can continue. What do you think, Molly?
I would go ahead then and withdraw that second set of motions and make a motion to have the number 2 as a standby.
Okay.
all right.
And then have Patty call the roll.
I'll withdraw the
Okay,
previous motion.
Yeah.
Okay,
Before
since I
I
made
take
it.
roll, I'm totally confused.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, you're having to do the minutes.
I want to get this right.
This was my job.
Hey, can I make a motion that all of us vote by roll call by saying option 1 for those 3? Or option 2 for those 3?
Absolutely. That should
That cleared up, just erase all the rest
Can
of that.
someone second
I
that?
second that motion.
Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just,
All right.
Start with Marlene.
Okay, Marlene Woodson.
Hold on just a second for clarity. So when we go through the
Marlene
roll
Woodson.
call, you'll vote either option one or option two. Okay?
okay. I'm voting now.
she'll call she'll call the
I did.
names.
I called her name.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, I like option one.
Option 2,
Barbara, okay. Marlene, did you say 1 or 2?
One,
Okay. And Barbara, you said 2?
yes.
Okay. Joel Fair,
One.
Tim Bass,
Option 1.
Kathy Parks.
Option 1,
Okay.
Option passes 4-1.
I'm sorry?
Option 1, motion passes 4-1.
And for what it's worth, if you want to say that my personal opinion differed from that of the community, I'm fine with that.
It's on the record. You're on TV.
Covering all your bases, Tim. Well done.
Lawyered.
All right, excellent. The next thing is we shifted the meeting from this meeting from January to February. To get back on track, we would like to have a meeting next month in March. The proposed meeting time for next month was March the 26th, is that correct, Patty?
Yes.
No. That's,
That was the original date,
Yeah.
but with so many new board members on almost every board, including council, what our city clerk has done is making arrangements to have a training session for all board members. And in parliamentary procedure and in sunshine, so, and it's actually scheduled for the same time as our normal meeting.
Okay.
So a couple options we have is to pick a different day in March. We can reschedule all of the meetings to just do every other month, which means the next one would be April, or we could hold off on all of it and wait till our normally scheduled next meeting in May.
which is May 28th. And I may have told you incorrectly,
Okay.
Joel, so I apologize.
That's all right. So we're going to have instructional training for us during that March 26th timeframe is what we're thinking.
Yes.
Either that day or someday around there.
Yes.
Okay? And so then the ask would be, do we want to have a meeting in April? Which would, so then the question is, do we have a meeting in April and then shift to May, or do we just wait and have the meeting in May? Okay. My thinking is that you and Gustavo would actually know better than we would whether a meeting in April would be required, just looking at your calendars, because we would probably all say, we don't necessarily need another meeting. But if we've got things going on that would be worth having a discussion about, then we need to have a meeting. Because May is 3 months away.
Follow the training session on
And
the
that's the other,
same day?
that's the other thought I had, was if it's a 30-minute training session, and then,
No.
Oh, no, it's gonna take more than that.
Definitely not for sunshine.
Okay. I thought, oh, get it all
yeah,
done in one
that's
day.
brilliant. Okay. Do you guys see anything on the horizon? I know it's a long ways away, and
Sometimes.
there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I mean, we may be working on some grants that may need your guys' approval, or at least support, but that's not 100% whatsoever. So I like the idea of just, if we need a meeting, we'll call a meeting.
Okay,
But if not, then just go back to your regular meeting schedule in May, yeah.
okay.
That
And
makes
when
sense
would
to
that
me.
be?
Okay,
We're all retired here anyway, so who cares?
that's right.
So when is it going to be? May.
So we're,
Unless something comes up.
So I believe the current idea is to go back to the regular meeting, which would be May, but kind of almost be on call as time gets closer in case something goes on. The city can inform us about the potential for another meeting because there's a grant in work and
Yeah.
it needs our approval sooner, but
And it is within City Code of Ordinances where if we needed a special meeting of this
Right.
board, we could call it. I think we did that in the past years ago for something, so
Well,
it's always an option.
When will the murals begin? When are they going to start working on the murals? Have a date set?
I know our target date for completion is Kids to Parks Day.
Is what, please?
It's Kids to Parks Day, which is in mid-May. It'll go before, I got the timeline, I should have put page numbers on this. We're hoping to get everything started as early as mid-April, and then completion date by May 10th.
Is there any chance we could do a tour of the murals?
They'll
have
be
done-
dedicated at the Kids to Parks Day event,
Oh, yeah? Okay.
which is a big celebration. I don't know what all is planned for this year, but in past years, it's been tied in with the kids' baseball season and other family type of activities and games and stuff out at the park.
You have a date?
May 16th is Kids to Parks Day.
Yeah.
That sounds.
And you guys will receive plenty of notice. It's the same Friday as moving the park, that's why we tie it. Usually nationally, they don't want, the original intent was to celebrate it on a Saturday. We found out very quickly, the first 2 years we did it, that nobody shows up on a Saturday. So we worked with Little League, and we're like, well, we have a target audience here, let's work together and do something really fun.
Yeah, it tends to conflict with the boat races, and we can't really
Yeah,
compete
yeah.
with boat races.
I'm sure you must know, there's interest in the mural that you see off A1A, of the astronaut. All the cruise passengers
Oh, yeah.
like to see it. Yes, and I was thinking if we go on with the murals, we could have little tours.
Oh, absolutely.
People going through town to see yes, the little trolley
I
trip
will,
around, to see Cape Canaveral.
I'll give you a quick anecdote on the law of unintended consequences and how much people like it. Now people are parking in the middle of the street,
Oh dear,
getting out and taking pictures. And I'm
those are tourists.
Yeah, I always go out and say, folks, I'm sorry, but we have a parking lot right there. I'll only be here a minute. I'm like, yeah, but you're blocking traffic. Please. Yeah,
As they're speeding off of A1A to try to make that turn.
yeah.
Okay, I would motion that we go ahead and set the meeting for May, I believe, what's the date for that? 28th?
28th.
May 28th?
May 28th?
Thank you, Patty.
Okay.
You have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good job, parliamentary.
She's working out.
I'm picking up.
That's why she's up there, you know. That was my plan all
I'm
along.
working my way down.
She's our
the
sergeant at
line.
arms now.
Excellent. All right, let's move on to staff reports. Gustavo?
Okay, did any of you see, and I'm surprised Mickey wasn't here. Did she say she wasn't going to be here, Patty? I'm just wondering.
I'm sorry?
Did Mickey give us notice she wasn't going to be here?
No.
No, okay, just wondering. Because she brought up a really interesting project that was already in the budget as part of a redevelopment of Canaveral City Park. And we were going to call it, and not we, that was just what I was brought into, that it was going to be called Whimsy Park. Now, Veterans Memorial Park was never going to go away. But the thought was the south side of the park could be expanded and developed to have perhaps a outdoor sculpture park, you know, where you go from Veterans and you keep walking down a really nice paved trail into outdoor murals. And back in the day when this idea was going on, Molly already had what she's doing for murals for public art. So it was way up there. But it is in the budget for, I believe, next fiscal year. That never necessarily means a whole lot. That's just the way the city plans that, hey, these are our dreams, and once the budget process comes, if they feel they can afford it, they'll fund it. If they don't, they don't. But Councilmember Kelm said, hey, you know what? I like the idea, and I've spoke to veterans about the possibility of actually just doing the whole thing just as Veterans Memorial Park. Okay, so rather than us having two parks like Canaveral City Park and Sandpiper Park, which confuses everybody, they call Sandpiper the playground, by the way, if you didn't know, within Canaveral City Park, she had the idea of just making it really congruent. And she said, okay, guys, that's my idea. You guys help me. Let's see what happens. So an online survey went out to the community. Molly and her staff worked on it, published it. Any of you guys aware of that survey at all? No? Okay, so Patty has some copies after the meeting. We would greatly appreciate you guys, just letting us know what you think after this short presentation. And so let's start real quick, Patty, if you don't mind. I'll try to be quick. Sorry, Molly. But this is important. And the main reason I'm kind of hijacking it here is because here's what we've done so far. I had a public meeting on a Saturday at the VFW for veterans. Even though they had posters in their post and for at least 2 weeks, the attendance wasn't what I would have wanted. We had online service and we had decent response with those. And people had some interesting comments. There's always the people that'll say, whatever. But there were very usable, good comments in that. Furthermore, I purposely went to the American Legion, and I kind of snuck in during their lunchtime, and I said, would you let me speak for a couple minutes to all the people sitting around the bar, eating, having fun? The lady's like, I don't know. Hey, do you guys want to hear this guy from the city? And they're like, about what? Veterans Memorial Park. We want to honor you guys a little bit more, and expand the park. So I'll be brief. They're like, yeah, so I took this presentation, I spoke to them and had them fill out the survey and left more surveys there. Now you guys get to be part of that round and you see the presentation. I also had a public meeting here, okay, for this project that was advertised just as your meeting was advertised. Did any of you guys get that notice, by the way? No, okay. That's my fault. I obviously, whatever mode needs to step up, and I'll take full responsibility for that, okay? Because only Councilmember Mickey showed up, Councilmember Kellum, Councilmember Morrison, and one veteran who gave great input, but I was hoping more people would show up as there will be maybe some costs associated with moving this project forward. And so the survey is important. Public engagement is critical, especially you guys that are park and event and culture champions. You guys exemplify the volunteering spirit in this department, in this realm. So I will do a better job of engaging you guys, and hopefully in return we get a little more engagement, and by the way, just going to say this, you're welcome to show up when Molly advertises that community appearance board. Whether you like a certain option or don't like it, your opinion's always welcome because you guys are residents and your opinion's valued. So they want to hear from people. I don't know how many people usually come to these meetings, but since this is up your alley, if you're available, I'd strongly encourage you just to, say your piece there as well.
April 1st. The community appearance board meeting will be April 1st.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, so I'll just give you a quick brief, because this is a park, it's only 4 or 5 slides. This is a park that you can drive by and you have no idea it's there. Many people are like, oh, that whole thing is a park? I was like, yeah, the whole thing, but it's not the most accessible. So as you can see, that's the look looking northeast. And what you can see there, just want to highlight, is a beautiful tree canopy. In the redevelopment, trees are not going to get touched. This is a tree city. This site in particular shouldn't necessitate any trees going away. Next slide, Patty, please. Okay, this is the corner of Taylor and Orange, looking northwest. And what we did a long time ago, you guys might have been here, I'm not sure, but we got a little grant that was kind of free money from the National Park and Recreation Association. They just said, here's money, engage kids in parks. What can you bring to a park that's going to bring kids there? So we bought some really cool basketball hoops, which some love it, some that live close, maybe not so much. But anyways, and we built this beautiful chess set because to me at the time, it started to put a thumbprint of public art that you can use, okay? And that's key, because then it brings families, and it's not this organized softball thing, it's not necessarily all passive, so anyways, so we did that there, and that's in the middle. That does not have to stay, that's just a slab of concrete, and we can keep those chess pieces. As a matter of fact, we have a portable mat as well, so we can use at events. So, next slide, Patty. Okay, this is the main park right here. And the thing to highlight is that when you think about honoring veterans, just honoring period, okay? A lot of cities don't even have a Veterans Memorial Park, but we do. So the city did memorialize veterans by building a park and naming it after them. So that's first. The second thing the city did is we built a monument there with all the different branches. I think we may have to add the Space Force, or I don't know how that's going to work, Tim, you tell me, but.
Currently, it's under the Air Force anyway.
Okay,
So
cool.
they're just getting an additional seat.
It'd be fun to put a hexagon with their logo on there, but anyways. So the city hasn't totally neglected veterans, but could we always do better? That's always the thing, right? Could we always do better in everything in life, personally, professionally? So that was Councilmember Kellum crux of her message is, hey, we want to have a place that truly honors veterans, because within 1.9 square miles, we have 2 different veteran organizations, one that served in foreign wars, one local, and we have a lot of retired veterans due to our location. So that was the idea there. Next one, Patty, please. Thank you. Last slide. The other ones, it's just of a butterfly garden, but
The butterfly garden is my favorite part.
thank you. And that one has been really tricky, I'll be honest with you, because just like the community garden, it takes engagement to keep attractants there. So for a long time, maintenance staff just like, this is work, we're just gonna plant whatever there, so we can just keep it trim, low, nice, and we'll weed it. We had a volunteer, long story short, she came, did a great job, then disappeared. That place, it's usable, and it has some attractants left over, but I can't guarantee, but thank you, the statue's beautiful, and yeah. And that was the intent for the south part, is just to continue that theme. And that hasn't gone away. So as I did research, and I'm sure you guys, you could do this research yourself, I just Googled Veterans Memorial Park throughout the U.S., right? And there's a few things I saw as I visited, probably 50, 60 websites of parks for small municipalities, because that's what we have to work with. We're not, we're not necessarily the Port, and we're not Melbourne, and we're not. So in what could fit in there? What are some characteristics that, at least from my professional thing, all these parks share in common? And what, if anything, could be done? Now, I'll tell you the process after all this input's gathered. I'm going to give all that input to an architect engineer. They're going to design a couple renderings of what the park could be, and that'll go before the city strategic planning session, okay? And that'll be an interesting one for you folks in particular, because that is where they work on the next 5 years of projects and vision, and it's open to the public. It's sometimes kind of a long, drawn-out meeting because they're talking about a lot, but I encourage you, once that agenda goes out, because I believe it'll be a public meeting, check it out. If there's anything that interests you there that you want to support, please show up, okay? Because council wants your input, always. I mean, that goes without saying. The problem, obviously, is that you guys are all busy. We have, kids and work. There's a lot there. So, but if you can, you're supporting anything that happens citywide, whether it's my department, whether it's Public Works, whatever, always greatly appreciated if you can. So, entrance, okay? So, a sense of arrival. That seemed to be a theme with a lot of these parks, okay? And as I look at our park, perhaps, I've had people that say, well, I didn't know that was a Veteran Memorial Park until I walked in and I saw that little sign. So I'm, okay, well, there's a possible deficiency there, but the survey will tell the tale, and, also, I've heard about memorializing veterans better, and there's a million ideas, good ideas, as to how you do that. There's bricks, there's posters, there's walkways. So the juices are still flowing within council, and you guys are welcome, please, to give input, because I know a lot of you travel a lot. Anything you think, by all means, give us input on that, and we'd love it. Is there one more, Patty?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, and last but not least, And even in the surveys, there were some comments, there's a lot of whimsical designs that, that you wouldn't necessarily associate with a veteran memorial park, one of them being playgrounds. And people said, put workout stations there. Because I'm not on Facebook, I would love to say, just go 1 block south to Xeriscape Park. We got you covered. But that's okay. There's playgrounds, there's places to sit. And the original idea, which has been mentioned everywhere, public art memorializing veterans, okay? Now, to what extent all these ideas get meshed, and that will give the architect everything. He'll give a couple renderings, and believe me, there'll be plenty of opinion between all council members, and hopefully maybe the public one more time once we see the renderings. And so the beauty of the process as we're doing it is that it's a very live process. It's not like I'm coming here and telling you, here's the 3 options. You vote, you know. No, we want to engage everybody, we want to give it time, marinate, as they say, so we get the best thing that everybody wants. Okay, thank you guys for your time. I'm sorry it took so long. I'll say our events. Obviously, Saturday, we have Founders Day. There's going to be beer, which is hosted by Cape View Elementary PTO. So please, if you drink, you're helping them. There's going to be food, so if you drink too much, Little League will hook you up. All the funds there go to Little League. If you have kids, we have Touch a Truck, we have bounce houses, we have trackless train rides, all free. Okay, this is where we kind of celebrate Cape Canaveral. We're going to be honoring, kind of in this spirit, we'll have some more surveys there, we're going to be honoring the VFW and the American Legion. Both of those organizations have been here for a long time, and I'll tell you, they both support, for example, Cape View and the backpack program there. They give us 200 plus money to purchase 200 plus backpacks, so the city and us are partners, them and the city are partners on this. So these people always have put their money where their mouth is, and they've supported us at all the events. It's just a great relationship to have with that organization, so we're honoring them both. We're going to have live music. We're going to have bingo, hosted by the VFW. Thank you, Molly. Who else? So the beauty is that this event gives back 100%, and it's free to everybody. So we're going to have a electric car display, so a bunch of people bring their electric cars for you guys to look at. Molly's going to be there with her community engagement table, telling you all that's happening in the city, and the band will be powered by a solar generator. So the city owns a solar generator for catastrophes, and we want to showcase it because the city is very engaged in sustainability. Did I miss anything, Molly?
The wiener dog races.
How could I have forgotten that? Yes, the most important thing, the wiener dog races, which are going to take place at 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. And I tell you what, we used to have a dog event that was awesome, but too many other events on Celebrated Dog Day, so we're doing it here. And I tell you, last time we did it, it was so fun. And so we thought, you know what could be the icing on the cake for this event, and, you know, it was the wiener dog. Thank you, Molly, I'll shut up.
Is the dip-off still happening? No, okay.
Yeah,
Not enough.
I received one phone call asking about participating in it, and it was today.
Got it, sorry.
And
What
it was-
time does the Founders Day start in the park?
Founders Day starts at 10 a.m.
Oh, can I say one last thing? Project-wise, the RFQ for the were you going to say that? You want me to shut up?
Oh, go for it.
I'm not so.
It's exciting.
Yes, I know, it's like, so Marlene's dream from 8 years ago that I remember, as well as the multi-generational facility, which has been a city thing for 25, 30 years, we have put out the RFQ for that, and it will be available to companies to provide RFQs on Monday, March 2nd. And they are due back, the RFQs are due back March 23rd, okay? And so then the process continues in selection, blah, blah, blah. But light at the end of the tunnel finally, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, and sorry, I forgot.
Wow. I can't believe this day ever could arrive.
You fought for it.
I have goosebumps.
Thank you, Gustavo. Molly?
I don't really have too much to add. Gustavo and I work together on just about every aspect, from community engagement to the events. So my department did take the lead on the State of the City, and I don't know how many people have seen it. We do have it linked online. We made it ADA accessible, so it is posted online, but I made sure you guys got the last 5 copies. If anybody else wants some, we're going to have to print more. But we've gotten a lot of good response. Rocky actually went through and highlighted every single page. So if Rocky is content with it, and he made the comment, and it was probably the best piece of feedback, he's like, I found things in here that happened last year that I didn't even know about. So if I can get it past Rocky, then I think we're winning. The other thing, I know, hopefully, all of you get our weekly update. We've actually added something for kind of an extra pat on the back for staff and city council, and it also gives people talking points when they're out and about in the community. The last day of every month, we send out what's called the top 5, and that's one single email each month. You will have to register for it separately if you would like to get it, but it's like the top 5 things that we've accomplished over the course of the last month. And if you would like the direct link to that, you can get it in the weekly updates, or I can just send it to you.
Send it to me, would you, Molly?
Thank you.
And that's all I got.
Thank you, Molly. Thanks, Gustavo. Does anyone else have anything for all of us?
I don't know if it fits in here or not, but I was thinking of it with the park presentation. We don't have an Arbor Day here in Cape Canaveral, and I grew up with Arbor Days, and now we're facing global warming, yay or nay, people think, but trees scrub all of the toxins out of the air, and we're paving over. We have parking lots that are on top of parking lots, and we have condos, and we have houses, and we're topped out. And I would like to see us have an Arbor Day and put some trees back.
I have really good news for you.
Yeah, good.
We do an Arbor Day celebration with Cape View Elementary every year, and each year we plant at least 4 or 5 trees with the kids at the park.
That's wonderful.
And the next one is already scheduled for the Friday in April that's closest to Arbor Day. And I have a meeting with Public Works first of next week to coordinate our activities for this year's event.
Well, I suggest we take it a little step further and possibly the city purchase tree, what do you say? What is the right word for siblings or something? Little tiny trees that are already rooted, and give them to our residents with the promise they'll plant them in their yards. This is what's being done. And
We can explore
we
that.
can make A1A look like a park.
Yeah, we can explore that.
Okay, can I go to that meeting you're talking about?
I'll talk to the city manager about it.
Oh, okay, well, then, not to worry.
Can I just add to what you're saying, Molly? I've been here 8 years now. I celebrated my 8th year, I believe, on President's Day. Sorry. So since I've been here, the city has had an Arbor Day. It's just not necessarily an event because personally, I don't know why they've done it like that. I could probably think that it's a lot of work to organize an event where people come. And it can be hit or miss on attendance, okay? Because people are busy, they want it when they want it on a Saturday, blah, blah, blah. So what the city's done every time I've been here, because the city is it's a designated tree city. As part of that, they work with the Arbor Day Foundation, and they keep track of all the trees in the city, and it's in the thousands. Since I've been here, every Arbor Day, trees are planted at some park or another. And not only is it with Cape View, but the city partners with private businesses. So Fairvilla Boutique last year donated 3, at least,
LGB.
so for they donated a couple, and the city matched them for every letter in the I'm sorry, I'm not going to even attempt it, of that group. So, and they're at Manatee, and they are rainbow eucalyptus, they're beautiful, and they are designated as such.
Yes. I had no idea.
I know, yeah, well, that's that weekly update, by the way, and back in the day, it was a 60 to 100-page document, easy to miss. I think Molly has done an amazing job streamlining that thing and putting
Yes.
what's really important, and let's put some pictures and bullets, let's make it digestible for people. But I can guarantee you, and if you want us to do that homework, we'll figure it out and send you some of what the city's done over, let's just do the past 3 years through the weekly update. We'll email that to all you guys so you can see
Right.
what happened with some pictures and everything.
Right. Yes, I would be very interested.
Okay.
And I could donate. Why not?
By the way, if you ever want to donate, we do have a tree and bench program. So, well,
Yes, I'm
if
very
anybody
familiar
knows
with
about the
it.
tree and bench program, is you. I apologize. but
No,
thank you.
please don't apologize.
Please
If others
donate.
don't know about it.
We
thank
take
you.
those trees anytime, and,
Yes.
yeah, thank you. Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
And a follow-on to that, just, I was gonna, I guess it's good to give kudos to the city on the Sea Oats planning. Now, that's always an amazing event and one that's especially needed after the past few years. So, yeah, just, we really, as citizens, we really appreciate the city doing that, and especially as this board, even though that's not technically a park, it certainly brings the community together, people of all ages, just to go out there and work together and make the beach a little better and hopefully a little more sturdy. So just wanted to say thank you to the city.
Part of that is actually funded by the county. They're the ones that pay for the COs and drop them off.
I always just see the city folks out there. But thank you to the county then also.
For at least purchasing them.
So this Saturday's Founder's Day. Next Saturday is parade through,
Yeah, so next Friday's Friday Fest. I'm all over the place, I'm so sorry. So this Saturday, Founder's Day. Next Friday, Friday Fest. If you've been there lately, it just keeps getting better as far as food and vendors. I wish we had more control to get more, but it is what it is. These are private business people, and if they show up and make a good buck, they come back, and if they don't, and so luckily a lot of them come back, and we always get new ones. But I love eating there. I love the ice cream there. They've got a couple people, so that's my guilty pleasure on Friday Fest. The next morning at 11 a.m. on Orange Avenue, we're celebrating Little League grand opening with a parade from Veterans Memorial Park to the park. So if you guys are available, bring a lawn chair, bring some pom-poms, let's cheer these awesome kids and parents that, and then there will be activities on the field, there will be things for kids, there will be the national anthem, and I believe Little League is scheduling a little friendly competition between our mayors, and it's either the mayor or a council member substitute, because last year, Council Member Brown had to step in, but super fun. If you guys are available, please come in, and I know in 5-6 years, there will be a little guy out there. Sorry, Joel.
all right, thank you. Anything else for the group? All right. I would motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.